Okay, and now I am really back. 1 minute to go. I'm going to start. Got my protein shake. Where'd you go, Furion? Right. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. To begin with, I'm going to go and have a look at the order flow. So let's see where the order's at. Okay, so wow. Bunch of liquidations on the way down. This needs to be refreshed, obviously. Let's see what it looks like after I refresh it. There's quite a lot of liquidations. I don't know where the data is from earlier. Something's wrong with EXO charts. You can clearly see something's messed up. Don't know what's going on. It's a bit annoying. VWAP, where's the daily open? What it did? Wow, look at this open interest. It drops and it goes up. Don't quite understand why. Bearish CVD there. Just invalidated now, higher price. I mean, there's a slight bearish CVD here, so it's obvious that there is shorting going on. It's very hard to tell because I don't have the full data here. So let's just ignore it for a second. Let's have a look at the charts. We've fallen underneath the value area. Okay, that was interesting. It didn't go as high as I thought it could. Didn't even go past the golden pocket. The original short was good, wasn't it? That was the original short. That was good. So there is a lower target, huh? And then that's your range bound long that I had, which I was thinking maybe some kind of pennant type, flag pennant type structure. I still think we're range bound, huh? I don't. Are we going to get down to here for a lovely long all the way down here? There's some single prints. Okay, let's just get rid of this shit now. Get rid of all of that, I think. And go. Sometimes I look at previous ideas because they can still play a part. Now this trend line, I think it could still be relevant right now. A little failed auction on the sea, how it tried to hold here and then dropped, and now we're kind of underneath it. So we could have had a little fake out on this a slightly different trend line, and then clearly there's another trend line here, just some kind of outer trend line. We're in a bit of a area where price could resist. Amazing, and that was the short. Amazing. And the longest still lower down. You've got fingerprints, and you've got this local volume has changed. Let me update it a little bit and get rid of the fixed range. Let me go back to the order flow. Let me see if I can get some data here. Or not, because my XO charts is bugged. Why is it bugged? Oh, it's so annoying. Okay. So we have a daily, an MPOC there at 120480. I'm going to write that down. $120,480, and then one was higher up at 122,700. Okay, that's that. Let's go and have a look at the sessions. Oh, we don't have the data. Something wrong here, because I wanted to see if there was any single prints in. I can't tell. There's something there. I don't know what it is. What a waste of time. Let's put these MPOCs back in. What did I say? 120. Let me just move it actually. Ah, shit. Kind of went through. Look, it went through that MPOC. 120,480. And 122,700 is that up there? Yeah, we already got that. So we clearly didn't go as high. So this kind of flag pennant structure is a little bit different. It's good to kind of map these out, because you can go back and have a look and see what you were thinking and see if it was, we wanted it to go higher and it didn't. So the reason I like this downward channel that I just drew is you can see the midpoint reacts here and here. It's off those top 2 points, and I just pulled it down to there. So there's something nice going on here. We could be in this kind of downward falling channel, and that does help us a little bit because we still have this long in play. We've got single prints, we've got 2 naked daily points of control. We have these fibs as well. We have a kind of, we've smashed through that 236. It found support, and then we're underneath it now. So we're kind of underneath resistance at the moment. So obviously it's not a good place to long because you're longing into resistance. We've lost support. Remember, we've lost support. I think I'd like to see, if you want to see strength here, we need strength. You can only long strength or swing failures with a reaction at the lows with an invalidation. So in this context, strength would be find support back above that 236 that I marked out. Yeah, we kind of need to get back above it, find support, and get back into the range effectively, the local volume. You see that? We need to get back into the range, into this volume range value area. The good thing is that we are above this pivot here, but I can't see any indication that we've finding support to go up yet, and so therefore you have to be cautious with longs, yeah, right now, just because we're pushing into resistance. Yeah, we've lost support effectively. You can see we've lost support, and so what you want for longs now is just to find support again, and for the price to show you support. That would be to get back above this 236, back into that value area. We can get back into that. There's a little bit of strength, and then that was probably the pivot low. Maybe that swing failure was correct, but it's a hard trade to take because we're into, you're kind of longing into resistance. You want to see that for strength for longing, basically. Yeah. And that would be a little failed auction of the lows, and we're kind of forming a falling wedge here. That would be a falling wedge. And so if it is a falling wedge, it is a good place to long, but can't tell. Can't tell. And then you have this kind of downward channel. So it is possible to kind of fall down here, fill these single prints. And then the last one is this one that I'm thinking of. Bam. Kind of, yeah. You kind of want to long down here, otherwise you just want to let this play out and see what happens. Okay, it's still the same long, still the same area for a long breakout test of this breakout back test. That is, it's problematic because then you're in a failed auction territory, and even if you do get a nice long, you could reject to go down, and so from a reaction here, you want to see real strength to pump it right back into the range here. That's kind of what you want to see. Then this whole thing becomes a failed auction, and it's bullish. All right, I think that's BTC. So my XO charts isn't working. It kind of makes it a bit tricky. I think we're in some kind of downward channel right now, really showing signs of weakness. And longing, probably longing where I initially said at 111,000 is probably the right area. It's still the same area to long. Okay, other than that, it's going to be quite choppy, but it's going to, right now it's looking a little bit weak because we've lost the value area low, we've lost this pivot low, we've lost this lower trend line, we've lost this kind of inside trend line with losing levels. So that's weakness, isn't it? That's weakness. When you're starting to lose levels, you're weak. Price is weak. There's no strength. You can't long strength. You short weakness. That being said, are altcoins weak? Because that's what we're interested in. Altcoins, yeah. Not really. Altcoins are showing strength, aren't they? ETH BTC is going up. So the weakness in BTC is really more of a rotation of capital which means that the rotation is pulling Bitcoin down while pumping altcoins. And actually that means that the crypto market is very healthy, because it means Bitcoin is just trying to find support right now, which probably is exactly where I said. And then then you're going to get a pump, and then that's going to pump the whole market. So Bitcoin is pulling back because of a capital rotation into altcoins, and that's pulling new liquidity into the market, because naturally the market enters with Bitcoin initially. The wider market will enter liquidity into Bitcoin. That's where you're going to get. So the lower Bitcoin gets now, the more liquidity is going to come into the Bitcoin market. And so when Bitcoin then pumps and starts moving, then that's going to move the whole of the altcoin market. So actually, I feel like this is quite healthy, because you're getting quite good strength on altcoins. You can see the strength on altcoins, not all of them, but most of them. And that's reflecting in ETH BTC. You can see it. ETH BTC is right back up into the range. So this is quite good. This is quite good price action strength in altcoins. I think this is quite healthy for altcoins actually. Right. So even though BTC could be going down, it doesn't mean the crypto market's going down. All right. Look at Sui. Sui is like, I drew this out when it was here, remember? And look, right up, down, up. Look, it's kind of just doing what I imagined. Just kind of found resistance, now finding support. So maybe there's another leg up on Sui, and Solana hit that value area and it kind of bounced. See that? All right, I think that's Bitcoin. I don't really have much else to say. SPX is still riding high. RTX is the one that needs to break out. Pull back on USDT dominance, so liquidity is coming back into the market. DXY is kind of here, just stuck at the golden pocket here. Oh, Tesla gap down, big time gap. Wow. Wouldn't mind a drop on Tesla, to be honest with you. Down to my area of interest. Okay. All right. That's that. I've only been streaming for 17 minutes. Amazing. I don't know if I brought any clarity to the charts. Let me have a look at these candles as well. I'd be interested to see how today's down candle closes, to be honest with you, because the way it's looking for me right now, it doesn't necessarily need to go down if it's just a swing failure of this previous pivot low. And then next day, this weekend, it could go right back up. We do want it to go down just to find support at 111,000. But at the moment, it depends on how this day closes. If it closes like this, it probably might not go down, though. It might just kind of get stuck. This 12 hours. Again, it's taking liquidity from the lows of this range. It could reverse, it could definitely reverse. So even though it's looking a little bit bearish, just because of what I said, into resistance, it could, just because we've captured the liquidity from the range lows, basically here, that could be it. That could be, then it could just find some strength, get back up, and guess what? It's not as weak as we thought, you know, and then that's kind of what you want to see. If it does that, then actually this is really healthy. It would be better to do this, because then you're just kind of in a falling wedge rather than a failed auction. And so we're in failed auction territory if we continue to find resistance here, But with all the shorting that's going on, you could get a real nice squeeze and pull it back into that range, and then it is a falling wedge. And so I don't want to say it's going to go down, because at the moment what's happened is it's tagged the liquidity from the range low here, and that is technically that's a swing failure back into resistance. So that's your invalidation if you're long. If it can't break out with some short squeezes, then it will fall right back down. So it's kind of, we're in a bit of a moment to see what happens next. Definitely not the right place to short or long, to be honest with you. Just have to wait to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's possible to go up, huh? It is possible. Get a little short squeeze. It's just that it drops so crazy, so you need a little bit of a short squeeze to pull it right back up. Or it needs to come back into a local golden pocket like this, and then for a chance, more shorts enter, and then a little short squeeze. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'll keep an eye on it. Yeah. Let's get back to ETH BTC. ETH BTC should mess around here for a while, huh? That's what I said. This is kind of the area. All right, I'm going to take another 5-minute break. What time is it now? 11:23. Take a 5-minute break, and then I'll be back for some TRVL. Oh. Right. So BTC's in a little bit of a dilemma right now. Is this a swing failure of the range low being this here, to go right back up to the range? Or is this a failed auction and we're hitting resistance now, ready to go down? Okay, so we're in a bit of a dilemma. It's hard to know until it happens. I'm looking at the order flow, and we're back above the VWAP, so that's the first sign of strength that I've seen. There's quite a lot of volume in these in this lower range right now, and there's liquidations on both sides. there's a little bit of absorption. There's a little bit of bullish divergence here on this latest push up from 9:45 a.m. CVD went lower, price was higher. So there's a little bit of bullish divergence here. But we are into local resistance being the breakdown area. It is possible we go up. Like, this is the thing. If shorts enter and they can get squeezed, shorts can get squeezed. Okay. So right now people were thinking, oh, this is looking really bearish, sell short, but it could just be a swing failure of the range low. The range low is clearly here. Let me mark it out. That's your range low. Naturally, the all-time high is your range high. So you see that's a swing failure of the range low right now. See that? So there's a very clear invalidation. You don't really want to go back to the range low. And we've broken down from this pivot low here. So we're stuck. We're stuck. If the price can get back up there like that and then find support, then actually that's a little sign of, potentially a little sign of strength, and could possibly long that with a little bit of strength. Whereas longing now, you're longing into resistance, and the long was missed because the long is basically any one of this, basically that range low pivot. That was a swing failure of the range low. It's basically missed. I didn't plan it, but it was missed. That was the area. You can see it was, can't you? That being said, it is possible that we just find resistance here, fall right back down and fill these single prints, and then this whole thing becomes a failed auction, which is quite bearish. Whereas what we're forming right now, which is a falling wedge, isn't that bearish actually. It's bullish. A little falling wedge, quite bullish. It is possible to kind of put volume here, drop, come right back up. You know, like there are variations of this which make this bullish and not bearish, as long as we don't significantly, as long as we don't flip this range low into resistance. And I think that's the biggest test. If you flip it into resistance, then that becomes problematic because you really have lost the range. Yeah. Whereas right now, we haven't really lost the range. We're still in the range. It's kind of a wider range. It's a price range, not a volume range, but we're within the range right now. So we're at the bottom of the range. So technically, this isn't bearish, especially with all the liquidations that I saw on exo charts, a little bit of bullish CVD. This could actually quite easily go right back in to the point of control, back into the value area, and then it could go for an attack of the highs again. So am I feeling bearish? Not really. But we are into local resistance, and so you just have to bear that in mind. It's hard to long into local resistance. It's a lot easier to long after we get a little bit of bam, little break, pull back. Be a lot easier to long here on support after resistance has been flipped into support. And the good sign is that ETH BTC is looking strong back into that range, so that gives me a clue that actually we are as weak as it looks. It looks weak, but we're not necessarily as weak. For me, BTC, the big long is further down, as I've always said. The question is, how do we get there? Do we just continuously grind down on BTC? And we get there over the weekend? Just like this, bam, bam, or something, just kind of whatever. Oh, my bad, not all the weekend. It'll be next week. It would be next week. Do we have a drop next week just to capture that liquidity? It's possible. Looking at these weekly candles, it's possible to get a drop next, just one single drop, just to capture the liquidity, just to catch that liquidity and kind of test this breakout line. level, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. Little back test of the breakout level, and that's where most of the liquidity is going to be, the breakout level. Okay, and you can see that because you have single prints, naked daily points of control, you've got the fib retracement, lots of things there that's going to hold the price, potentially hold the price up. That's kind of where I think the price is grinding down to, and that's probably why we're getting a altcoin rotation, because the altcoins know that Bitcoin is grinding down to support, which is actually good for altcoins. In price discovery, it's really good for altcoins. All right, that was a really quick BTC update. How lower? I don't know. I mean, we're into local resistance right now, but we have swing failure, the range low here. So it looks like it's just grinding down. You know, you could get this situation, and then what you want is the final drop, like a final bam drop and pump. That's what you want for an impulse. You kind of want it to grind down and then drop and then pump type thing. That's kind of what you want to see. I don't know if it's going to go that low, but I wouldn't mind if it did. 111,500. And I don't necessarily think that altcoins are going to drop when that happens. Right now, altcoins aren't looking that weak. They're not looking that weak. You know, look at ETH. Doesn't look weak. SUI. I mean, SUI's just doing what I dreamed, isn't it? It's just doing what I dreamed after I drew that. It's just basically following my lines. So maybe SUI's also trying to create a flag. It looks like it's flagging actually. So what you want is to squeeze up and then up type thing, which is good. This is good. So far it's so good. So far it's good. Doesn't look terrible to me. Sol pumped and then it dumped, which Solana over pumps, over dumps. That's reflecting on Slurf, obviously. ENA's pumping because of the news, some kind of Ethereum news. Okay, let me have a look at some other things. I'm going to go to TRVL now. Do I look at the charts? I will go and have a look at the charts in a second. I'm just going to do what I normally do now. I'm doing the fundamentals. It's only you, RH, but I can cut a video, so it's all good. So here I am back again with my Dtravel cap and my Dtravel t-shirt, promoting Dtravel. Yeah. What is Dtravel? Well, go and do your research, but according to their X profile, it's a peer-to-peer vacation rentals. Peer-to-peer vacation rentals. Book with crypto and earn TRVL. They're built on the Night protocol powered by Base. The Telegram link is there, and you have a link tree here, and a blog, website, find a stay, network analytics, add listings, token, documents, blog, tokens, people and organizations. So all of your research is there, Dtravel. And the great thing is that they've just posted something on their X, and I'm just going to go through it. Have a look. Thinking about taking more control of your bookings and profit? Of course. Here's why thousands of hosts are building their direct booking website with Dtravel and how they are winning effortlessly. Number one, sync your existing listings already listed on Airbnb or Vrbo. Don't start from scratch. At this link, Dtravel, operators, hosts can import listings and calendars automatically with Dtravel's Airbnb import and sync tool, reducing double bookings, eliminating double bookings, and saving time while going direct. You're welcome. Yep. Number 2, personalize with custom branding. Customize your own domain logos, color palettes, tone of voice, and more, giving guests a cohesive experience while reinforcing your brand identity. Now you can even design your website with our new AI tool. Amazing. Look at this. And check this out. Update, change the theme, apply, bam. Now you have a new website, new theme, just like that. Amazing. Change, apply, apply. There you go. You can change your themes. Reviews, look at that, reviews. That's imported. Publish changes. Amazing. How good is that? And you have your own website. You don't need to do any coding. You can just do it. Okay. Which one was this one? Let's have a look at this one. Oh, it's a GIF, so I can't maximize it. So you can import. Number 3, offer guests diverse payment options. When you enter crypto, you're stepping in to a growing market projected to exceed $10 billion in payments by 2030. And unlike OTAs, online travel agencies, that restrict payment methods, Dtravel allows you to accept credit cards, stablecoins, crypto. And the twist, no middlemen. The twist, would I say that's a twist? Would I say, I wouldn't say it's a twist, but yeah. No catch. And the catch, no catch, no middlemen. There you go. So you could pay by cryptos and you can have it as an option, and then the credit card fee is obviously waived. And usually that's quite significant. It's like anywhere between 3 to 5%, and some countries possibly even more. So that's a big win. Number 4, $5 million damage protection plan. Give peace of mind to both you and your guests. Every booking via any direct website powered by Dtravel is backed by a $5 million damage protection plan covering liability, accidental damage, and more. That's 5x more coverage than many travel agencies. Look at that. So there is a little charge, potentially, which can be passed on by the host or operator, or the host operator can absorb that cost. I actually pass on the cost. Yeah, so me personally, I pass it on. But that's a personal option. And yeah, so that gives you the peace of mind. Peace of mind is absolutely critical. And look at this one. Earn rewards on every booking. Fees with Dtravel are up to 50% lower than traditional platforms in the very near future. So this is like a little bit of a buy the rumor. Both travelers and hosts will be able to earn back in TRVL tokens for every confirmed booking. See that? Travelers and hosts. So that's a buy the rumor, which can be staked, held, or used for vacation rentals. This means you can turn bookings into passive income. How amazing is that? We all like the word passive income, and this is in the near future. According to this, the very near future. With your own direct booking site, you don't just rent a space, you build your rental empire. Dtravel makes it easy, secure, and profitable to go decentralized. What if your bookings could mean more than just nights reserved, right? So this is quite a really powerful explanation on Dtravel. Do your own research, but it's there right on the X page. So they're starting to post again. This is good. This is what we want to see. None of the posts are actually pointing to the changes that, and any of the changes which I have rumored or I have suggested. So that's still to come. Lots of things are happening. Friday check-in. There's probably going to be another Friday check-in today, so I'm a little bit early. I won't catch that. And obviously, you can go and have a look at the stats. This is the real world network stats. You can keep an eye on it to see what's happening, to see if there's any growth spurts or or any changes. Yeah, I can see there's slightly increased. Look, cumulative GMV 1.3 million now. So last week it was like 1.28 or something. The listings are going up. It looks like it a little bit. And the sign-ups are going up. And if you think that we're only at the beginning, this is literally the beginning. I think people don't quite understand how early you are if you're looking at this video now. Basically, this is really early. This is my back end. Nothing's changed. It's still the same. This is my 64, almost $5,000 of realized earnings in the last 4 years. And I've completed 34 direct bookings using Dtravel. So I can vouch for Dtravel. I know it works. See that my crypto wallet is connected here. See that? This is all hosted by Dtravel. I don't even have to host this wallet. It's hosted by Dtravel. And that's great because I don't have to worry about my phone getting hacked. And you can go to your listings. You can do stuff. This is all the back end of Dtravel. And then if you want to have a look at my site, that's my site. Everyone can have their own site. I've actually connected the domain name to it. Otherwise it would be dtravel.directstaylondon.com. Instead I've just got my own business name, directstaylondon.com. And this is the Traveler app. So here, if you were to go and have a look at London and have a little search, you can find these are all direct booking sites. And if you click on them, like mine are there, it will take you directly to the site where people have an opportunity to directly book and interact with the owners of the properties, the listings, the hosts, and they don't have to deal with an intermediary like Airbnb. There's a map there. Look at that. London's quite nicely populated now. It's increasing, isn't it? Look, if you think that I was number one, yeah, and people don't realize that I was number one. I'll show you actually, because I don't think I've shown anyone recently. Here it is. Dtravel claims first short rental booking using, here it is, using blockchain and smart contracts. See that? Here are Sajadi's listings. That's me. Dtravel said it is now taking crypto bookings for short-term rentals on a blockchain using smart contracts to process bookings directly. Oh, so apologies. It's 3 years that I've been hosting in Dtravel, not 4 years. I've been with Dtravel 4 years, but this is 3 years. So Dtravel, which describes itself as a Web3 direct booking tool. I don't know if that description is relevant. It might have evolved into something more robust. Said it facilitated the first hospitality booking on blockchain using a smart contract between UK host Amir Sajadi, that's me, and a guest. See that? And that's the listing. And if you click on that, it will take you to my site, I guess. Oh, page not found. They've got the wrong link. It's here. Here it is here. That's it there. See that? The same site. So yeah, so I was the first, and if you compare it to where we're at now, we're now at 5,253 listings. If you think that I was the first, or maybe one of the first in London, and what was that site again? That was, there it is. This is London. Look at London now. Look how populated London is now. And remember, this is still the beginning. This is still the beginning. And then obviously there's the Dtravel website. You can go and have a look, do your own research. And Ruman's asking a question. So the insurance is with a third party. That's how they can guarantee it. It's not Dtravel's insurance. It's passed on to an actual insurance company dealing with short vacation rentals. And so Dtravel has negotiated a contract with this third-party insurance company, and that's it. It's just business to business. And so I'm just trying to think who they're called. I think it's called Super Hog. Let me go and have a look. Super Hog. You can go and have a look for yourself. Is it Super Hog? Am I wrong? Super Hog is a company that provides insurance and verification services for the short-term rental industry. They offer a damage and liability guarantee that protects hosts against guest damage and public liability claims. See that? So we have a deal with them, and as long as they vouch and verify that the guest is screened, then they will insure that, and then they will deal with the insurance claim. Okay, so that's how it's guaranteed. So I hope that helps. And that means that we don't carry the Dtravel doesn't carry the liability. It's passed on to a company which deals with that. Okay, but the great thing is that it's more comprehensive than Airbnb. And actually Airbnb is terrible. They used to be good, and they're terrible. They will often reject claims, and they are the power and the authority. So it's often better to do it with a third party. And then the next question, well, no, of course not. So if I'm hosting with Dtravel here, that's a hosted wallet, isn't it? Of course, I'm taking the risk. Just like if I have my funds with an exchange, a centralized exchange, I'm taking the risk. It's always better to keep crypto in your own wallet with your own keys, always better, but you can still get hacked. Like, people's phones can get hacked, their laptops can get hacked. There's no way to protect against hacking unless you have some kind of insurance as well, which covers the threat of hacking, and then that value has to be monitored and registered. So I think going forward, probably in the future, just to take crypto to a mainstream route, you'll probably end up with businesses and companies or Web3 companies which do insure hacks with personal and private wallets. But at the moment, no, of course, no. There is no guarantee, and so obviously you have to be willing to take that risk. But it's good for entry level, you know, like when someone isn't really familiar with crypto, they don't really want to download the wallet and get into it just yet, but they can just quickly, with their email address, they can set up a hosted wallet on Dtravel that allows them to receive the TRVL as rewards without having your own personal wallet. And then it's usually not as a big amount or large amount, but obviously if Dtravel was to get hacked in the future, then there would be no way to guarantee that their wallets won't be compromised. And so it's the same with an exchange. You know, any exchange can get hacked too, as we saw a few months ago when Bybit got hacked. So it's basically the same. Okay, I hope that answers that. All right, so that's kind of my fundamental update on Dtravel. And I had a look at the X page. Go and have a look at the Telegram. The Telegram is really good. Chappie is saying TRVL holding strong in a sea of red. I'm going to have a look at that now. This is something I've been posting. I've been posting stories about Airbnb. This guy, Wano, posts, for a decade I thought Airbnb would protect us if something went wrong. That was until the life of my son was in play and they decided with the host. Side with the host. If you trust Airbnb, don't learn the hard way like I did. Here's my story. So there's lots of things, you know, Airbnb, the problem with these centralized entities, the monopolies, and they start to piss people off basically, and because there's no natural competitor in the market, they get away with it. Now this is a traveler side story, and I've posted the link there on the X page, and so if you're interested, you can go and read these horror stories about Airbnb and how terrible they are. They're very bad company. They've become a very bad company. That's what happens when companies become monopolies. But there's also host side stories that I post. So here, Andy, I posted this to all fellow hosts from what I am going through. I want to share that you are not alone. You are alone. Sorry, to share that you are alone. We are alone in this. If you ever encounter any problem, Airbnb ghosts you, let alone supporting you. I'm incredibly gutted by their attitude. Protect yourselves. Choose your guests wisely because Airbnb will not protect you. Be safe. So there's a lot of things going on, and I don't think a lot of people realize that we have a real opportunity now to do something and take chunks out of Airbnb. Here, Andy says, Dtravelers, something big is coming. And when we talk big, we don't just mean a product update or something similar we've done in the past. This is alpha. This is like pure alpha. We are talking here about even whole countries, adoption, collaborations, cashback, and more. This is big info. Dtravel era is going to change everything we know about rentals, traveling, and rewards. Start taking notes. So this is Andy. She's the community manager at Dtravel, and she's giving us hints now of some of the things that I've been talking about. And in the context of a Bitcoin bull market, you can clearly see that Dtravel is not surrendering. Dtravel is fighting. Yeah, you can clearly see that Dtravel is fighting. That's why I'm back. I'm back because I've seen it. I believe in it. I'm experiencing it, and I'm willing to join the fight with Dtravel to make TRVL the success story that it truly deserves. Yeah, after such a terrible correction that we've experienced, now it's time to pump. That's what I think. So let me have a look at the charts. So let's just go back and recap. This is the volume from the lows here. So we're kind of teetering at the value area high, you see that? And there's a little bit of volume coming in here. You can see there's a little bit of volume coming in here. There's a little bit of buying yesterday afternoon. And so there is a little bit of accumulation here, or reaccumulation. And we've clearly experienced the wave one, haven't we? We've clearly experienced the wave one. That was your wave one. On Tuesday, I said that that was probably it. And now we're going to be looking for a corrective move. I gave an option. I gave a couple of options. Actually, what ended up happening was we ended up dropping much further, didn't we? A little bit further. Initially, I said to the 1-to-1, somewhere around here. But actually, it came all the way down to the 1.618. So right now, we're kind of above the 1.618. We've put in a higher high locally. So in the 30 minutes, you see we put in a higher high. And so this is kind of, we're in a lower low and a higher high situation. And we have to see what happens next. Okay. The next fib time based on this move is going to be Monday. So we have to see what happens by Monday. Ideally, what you want to see here is a little up and then like this, and then that, like that. That would be the best case for now for us, rather than just kind of down and then down, you know, like. And the reason why I say is that the lower we go, the harder it is to go up. Yeah, you'll still get those big crazy moves. It'll still be bullish because now we're in the kind of the bull type situation. But we want higher numbers, and for higher numbers, we want flat corrections. It's just the way the market moves. Yeah. So this isn't flat. You can clearly see this is a zigzag, i.e. downwards zigzag. And so you've got your kind of light there. There's your first ABC. Now we're putting in some kind of ABC maybe. And then you get your third ABC. And ideally what you want now with this corrective move is up as possible. So that when we do the last leg, we can just come back down to take the lows, and that's your corrective ABC type that. If you can't go up now, if we just struggle, then guess what happens? We go much lower. Okay, it's just the way the market moves. It's all about buying and selling and supply and demand. Right now we're somewhat holding the value area high of this volume to take us all the way up there. So we're in a good place. And also we've got that 1.618 area. Now I kind of imagined earlier that this would be a nice price action. We didn't get it, even though I had the target correct. This is not the same price action. Yeah, so just because it looks like it's right, it's not, because we lost the 1-to-1 and we're at the 1.618. Now this is going to be a really important decisive moment, because if the price does break up like that, then that's going to be looking really good. Yeah, maybe then we can get a strong ABC move, get a corrective move, and then expand to higher prices, you know, and then that would be a breakout to take us to our next wave. Yeah, so possibly I'm thinking Monday, possibly, but we have to see what happens this weekend. Let me have a look at the weekly time frame. Getting a pullback, obviously. We've reversed that kind of bearish green candle. We've already put in more volume in the last 3 days than the previous 3-day candle. Yeah, so this is important to see what happens, what kind of candle we get in the next 1.5 days. Ideally we just want to be here, we just want to stay here, and then the next one we can reverse. It's tricky. Yeah, it's really tricky. Ideally what we want to do is put in some volume here and go sideways, and not go lower, ideally. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do a fib pull on that. Yeah, we're not at any fibs either. That's the problem. It's a real problem. Real problem. We lost that 236 very easily. Interesting. Look at that monthly level. Look at that. So this is a back test of this monthly level, and we found a little bit of reaction off a back tested monthly level. Yeah, it's not a liquidity level, but it's a previous level. And if you zoom in, you'll see that there's a clear reaction of that monthly level. I think that's what's going to happen. Like, we have to see, this is support at the moment. You can see it's acting as support, can't you? See that this is a support at the moment. And so if we're going low, we have to lose this level. Look, even on the lower time frame, look, little fake out, and then look, support, 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 bam. So I had that level, that monthly level. So this is how we're going to know if we, in the 30-minute time frame, and actually we're at a good place actually right now, because we're at the golden pocket. So that's our last line of defense, that monthly level. But this is a good place for the price to find support and go up if it wants to. Otherwise, you lose this level, and that's your last line of defense. Then you have to go up. You have to expand up. Otherwise, you get into trouble. Take out the low, and then the monthly level flips, and then you'll be looking for something for a continuation move like that. Okay, so there's a couple of things that could happen here. We either hold the monthly level for a higher low here and break up, or we lose it and back test it as resistance, and then we'll go down. And so right now we're in a bit of a decisive moment for TRVL. But whatever happens, I am expecting the next wave to be a big wave, and a wave 3. Yeah, assuming that this is the wave 1 complete. I don't know when the 2 is going to fall into support, but let's just say hypothetically it's here. Then your 1-to-1 target will be that pivot high. But because it's a wave 3, possibly you'll be looking for like a 1-to-2, like a really extended move, taking us to the all-time low, the previous all-time low at 2 cents, or just under 2 cents. That's kind of where I'll be looking for this to go if we do create a wave 3 here. And obviously the lower you go, the lower your targets. And so yeah, I prefer we go up, you know, obviously I prefer we go up. But right now I'm not seeing a crazy sell-off. I'm just seeing quite gentle corrections. You see a little selling, buying, 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 a little selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying. Oh, for the first time we took the high. Yeah, so you can see now we're at a stage where the buying has the potential to reverse market structure. That's what you want to see. That's the first kind of indication of potential change above a monthly level. Now what we want to see is the buying to continue, selling to continue, and the buying to continue, and then you start putting in higher highs and higher lows, and then you're back into local bullish market structure. And then when that happens, then the buying will actually force the price up. Okay, so you've reversed. All right, so that's kind of TRVL at the moment, just locally. I'm not going to go over it on the higher time frame, but we're looking for wave 3 now, potentially looking at Monday, right? Or this weekend. I mean, who knows? Yeah, but with corrections, you do need to correct a little bit longer. And in my mind, when I'm just kind of taking this pivot low to the pivot high, the 1-to-1 would be Tuesday, huh? Tuesday, maybe Monday night, Tuesday morning, and that would be your correction complete wherever this is. And then you'll be looking for a bigger pump, a much bigger pump. And then once the pump begins, we'll be able to look at fib targets in price discovery. Right, okay, and then get rid of these brush strokes. Let me have a look at the monthly time frame. Already this month we've put in more volume than the previous month. Already we're looking at a really nice bullish month. However this monthly candle ends, this is a bullish month. Yeah, as long as it doesn't end red, but yeah, this is a bullish month. All right, that's TRVL. It's 12:30. I'm going to go and get a tea. Then I'm going to come back and look at QANX, okay, because I want to have a look at QANX as well. QANX has moved a little bit, so I'm interested to see that. So be back in 5 minutes to look at QANX. Let's have a look at QANX. Hopefully everything's working and nothing's not hidden. So let's have a look here. I did this analysis on QANX and I came up with this idea of that 1-to-1 bridge hack refund being the first wave, and for us into being in this kind of higher time frame WXY ABC 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 to kind of culminate at the end of June. That was my idea. I've looked at this a lot, and the reason why I came up with that idea was because the 618 off this pivot low gave us the all-time high, which is nice. And then also the 1-to-1 gives us these price discovery horizontals close enough, which is kind of, I liked that. There's a little bit of similarity in where these extended targets landed. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. And when I was talking about the price action before, I was thinking that maybe this is, we're like in a little bit of a corrective flag here. And it looks like we've taken the first step to breaking out of that flag, doesn't it? It just looks like it. Increasing prices, increasing volume. It's kind of what you want to see. Where is my first wave? There. So we've had the first wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that the impulse? Has it begun? Have we begun impulsing? Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, it's possible. See what that looks like. Didn't come down to the 618. Held above this anchored VWAP. Bit messier. It's a little bit messy. I'm not 100%. I can't, because the problem with these type of moves is that you could end up with this whole thing being the corrective A, that's the corrective B, and then you're still looking for a corrective C, which actually takes us down to there. Yeah, that's the problem with these moves. So when you're looking at impulsive moves, you really want to see real impulse and continuation. Until you get that, it's not terribly easy to know if this has begun moving. Okay, let me have a look at the higher time frame candles. You see we have a really nice market buy 2 days ago. That's what that candle represents, increasing volume. So clearly there's people, this is really nice corrective price action. It's not a sell-off. This whole thing's a corrective price action, like a flag. Looks like we're breaking. So actually, if we can kind of hold here, there's a good chance that we do explode up. Yeah, that's kind of how flags work, don't they? You break and then you test. And so it does look like we've broken the flag. And we're just back testing the flag now, the breakout of the flag. It doesn't look like it. And there's a clear invalidation. I'm just looking at these so I mean the last week's red candle was pretty bearish because it closed lower, and this week obviously we're getting some buyback. The monthly is like looking crazy bullish, isn't it? Wow, all the way up, down, and then it's buying back up. So The volume is nice. We should put in more volume this month. Increasing volume on the monthly time frame, increasing volume, increasing prices. We want to see another green month, and we want to see more volume, huh? We want to see increasing volume, increasing prices. So we have a good part of 5 days. 5 days or 6 days? 6 days to go. Let's see if we can get more volume, huh? More volume, increasing prices with a higher close. I think that would be really nice. Potentially looking at the beginning of a really nice run here, if that happens, because I can't see that happening at all. Here we had increasing prices, increasing volume, but that was quite expansive already, and then it dropped. Maybe here, if we can just reverse it here, this is looking like a really nice reversal. Increasing prices, increasing volume. Then maybe we can explode out of this and go to higher prices with volume. So volume is really important, and we're at the right time of bull season to start putting in volume, because people are shopping around, and naturally from this initial push, we've got this anchored VWAP which is holding the price. So don't lose the anchored VWAP, and we're going up probably. That's what I think. And then we have to see how we break out, because we have a potential breakout to contemplate. You just can't ignore it, right? We've got this outer trend line that we have to break out from, okay? And so before we even get there from the current price, that's another 63% increase in volume, in price. And let's just say we have put in a pivot here for the next move. Let's just assume that has happened, okay? And bring back my Elliott wave. Let's just have a look at these fib times as well. No, can't really tell. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll know, because the first thing that will happen is it will go up to the this 1.618 and find resistance. That's the first thing we're going to see, because it's not far away. And what's interesting is it's above this horizontal midpoint line. So to get there, you have to take out that pivot, hit it, resist, find support, or alternatively, in a more bullish scenario, break, and then find support like that. You know, so looking at the higher time frame fib time, like I really do look at fib time when I'm analyzing. And if you remember, I had us coming on fib time here, the 618, and then our next fib time is 3rd week of October, which is the 1-to-1. I have to see how this plays out. This next move, we have to see how it plays out. Okay. QANX could quite easily go against the market just because it's a layer 1, and there are some things which tell me that there's no alignment with the rest of crypto here. Just the fact that the price action has gone sideways, while most altcoins over the last at least 6 months or longer have just crashed in price. So QANX has definitely not done that. Yeah, it's gone sideways, and we're just kind of in this accumulation range, and naturally that means fib time is going to be slightly different to the rest of crypto. And maybe that was the pivot at the end of June, or the 3rd week of June, and then that means that the next ride would be up to mid-October or third week of October. Maybe crypto is going to crash again and QANX is just going to go up and up and up because of the mainnet launch. If QANX can get a good run after this consolidation and the rest of crypto is crashing and QANX starts running, then what you'll end up getting is, because we're in the kind of the alt season sentiment, we're all kind of the end of the bull market sentiment, pump sentiment, you could get a situation like the perfect storm where QANX just pumps and pumps and pumps regardless of the rest of crypto. You could get that with the mainnet. The mainnet is critical to what happens next. I think the mainnet is key, actually. That's really what people are expecting. That needs to happen. Funding, I don't know. I don't think they need funding, do they? I don't know. I really don't know much about the fundamentals of QANX. I get most of my information from friends and these two channels that I'm in. This trading channel, they talk a lot, and then they obviously the official channel. I think they were being audited and they're just waiting for that audit to complete. A lot of people chatting about their expectations. A lot of people are here. These are the channels. This is the official one. That's that trading one that I'm in. There's quite a lot of members as well. Like in this trading channel, you've got nearly 1,000 members, and it's quite an active community, and they're just chatting about all kinds of stuff. Price targets. There's a lot of expectation, so they have to deliver, and this is really important to know. If they underperform or underdeliver, that's going to have it's basically going to end up being a pump and dump. Yeah, they have to overperform, they have to over deliver. It's a reality. Look, this guy Coral Reef says 20x very soon. Well, let's have a look at 20x. I would love a 20x. I mean, I'm not going to say no to 20x. Honestly, 20x. I'll tell you where 20x is. I mean, it's within reach, 20x. That takes us to my target. That's really my target. 20x is my target. Really. On a breakout like this, hell yeah. If we get the volume to confirm the breakout and the mainnet launches, and then the rest of all season and bull market is going a little bit mental, yeah, 20x. Why not? Would you take profit at my first target, which is the all-time high? Yes, you would. And I'm actually been thinking about this a lot. How much profit am I going to take at the all-time high? I think I'm going to take 50% actually. Even though I'm bullish, even though I think this is going much higher, I was just thinking about how much profit am I going to take. Where's my phone? I need to calculate. Don't know where I put my phone. It's a hard one, but you have to, yeah, because that's your first big resistance zone. Let me just use a calculator here. Calculate times 0.2. Let's say 0.2. It's too much money to not take profit at all-time highs. I'll be honest with you, it's just too much money to not take profit. There's already a big gain, a big enough increase in value to not take profit. It'd be hard not to. It'd be very hard not to. I'd have to be like, honestly, if I was going to not take profit, I have to just forget about this token and never look at it and come back in years like maximalist Bitcoiners. That's a 50%, 500% increase in value. How can you not take profit into resistance after a 500% increase in value? I would probably take profit, and then I'm just thinking about how much I would take right now. But I'm imagining 60%, 50 to 60%. And then if it kept on going, So let's say 50%, or if it kept on going to my target of 20x, which is 75 cents, I still walk away with a shit ton of gains, you know, like I still walk away happy, you know, really happy. Like, I mean, that the money that you walk away with is still life-changing money. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing, you have to be looking at your situation and thinking about life-changing transformation to take profit there and then take profit there. You'll if you can walk away, if you take 50% there and maybe you take the rest there, then if you can walk away with life-changing money in those two take profits, yeah, of course you're not going to be waiting for billions, and like you're not going to be a billionaire, but that life-changing money you can do something with. And then when you do with that life-changing money, you can reaccumulate the dips. Yeah. And that's the thing, like I always think about what to do with crypto gains, and sometimes I'll be honestly, I'm like everyone else, like, you know, I've made shit tons, I've lost shit tons, and that's the life of crypto traders. Like every crypto trader, crypto investor has made shit ton of money or lost a shit ton of money, and I'm no exception. I'm not any different. And what I'm starting to do, like what I'm starting to learn, is that it's better when you have made some significant money that's going to change your life, take it out, start a real world business, and then start reaccumulating with real world gains in businesses that are tangible and that have real world value. Yeah. The problem with crypto is it can go up a lot and it can come down a lot. It can overshoot and it can overcorrect. And the evidence of that is a token that I've been investing in for a long time, is TRVL, you know. And, you know, people who've been following me know, like, this is painful, you know, watching your value. I wish I'd put all my value in QANX when I look at TRVL, because then I could reaccumulate at much lower prices, not expecting a 92% drop. Crazy, you know, all the way from the 2nd of December 24, not even within the space of a year. Yeah, this is not reminiscent of problems in the project. I'm sorry, in the fundamentals of the project. Just like QANX might not have any problems with the fundamentals of the project, this drop is 100% loss of confidence in the leadership. 100%. Got nothing to do with the project itself. The fundamentals of this business are sound, really sound. The product is amazing, really amazing. Yeah. But you have no control over certain aspects of the project, like poor leadership, poor decisions, a poor relationship with the market, or understanding what the market really wants or desires. Yeah. So you have to be careful, you know, when you're in crypto and you're investing and you're thinking to yourself, sure, QANX has clearly got the potential to be a 10 billion, $50 billion market cap token. Clearly has that potential. Yeah. And a large portion of that potential has got everything to do with quantum computing and quantum chips. Let's have a look at AI and see what AI says. How far are we away from a 10,000 qubit chip? Let's see what Grok says. We're using Grok 4, so it should be quite an in-depth study. It's going to go and search the web for us and tell us. So we're at 1,000 qubits now. We want 10,000 qubits, right? That's the next round number. Here you go. IBM plans, that was by 2009. We're likely, oh my God. So there's going to be some information here. Grok is like searching the web for us, telling us how far we are from a 10,000 qubit chip. And then we're going to ask Grok, what qubit processor will it take to break Bitcoin? Because that's the next question, right? Because that's when all the liquidity and value is going to flood to QANX, isn't it? So IBM has 1,121 qubits using superconducting technology. So the technology is not accessible. So look, read this. Let me see how long this is. If it's long, I'm not going to read it. As of July 25, no quantum chip has reached 10,000 qubits. The largest operational quantum processors are significantly smaller, with the focus split between physical qubits and logical qubits. IBM's Condor processor is 1,121 physical qubits, and D-Wave's advantage over 5,000 physical qubits, specialized for optimization, not computing. Okay. Okay, so that gives you some options. These systems are available. So IonQ, their timeline is 2027 on a single chip. Look, 10,000 physical qubits on a single chip. Pascal by 2028. QEra, 10,000 physical qubits by 2026. And IBM 2029. So IBM's really on it, huh? And that's great because we have Quant Platform has a partnership with IBM, but it's still far away. And then obviously Microsoft, they lie, don't they? So we have no idea. So the first 10,000 qubit chips announced as early as 2026. For example, Cura putting us about a year away from prototypes. More conservative estimates from IBM suggest 4 years, right? So that's, we're looking somewhere between 1 to 4 years according to this. And then how many qubits would it take to break the Bitcoin and or Dogecoin encryption? So I think it doesn't matter if you break Bitcoin, we just have to break one of them. And I think the weakest one. Yeah. And I was just thinking maybe Dogecoin. I don't know if what encryption they use, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Bitcoin. It could be just one of the big ones. Like it could even be ETH. Who cares? Just one of them, one of the big ones. Let's have a look. Within an hour, they need 13 million qubits. Shit. That's too many, huh? This is the moment of truth. Has anyone done this? Like John has just gone into AI and tried to do some research on timelines. $126,000 qubits. Should I have done quick answer? I don't know. I guess I want a complete answer. Huh? We want the full answer. We don't want a quick answer. I should go and make another tea and come back and the answer will be ready for me. So Bitcoin and Dogecoin both rely on the same cryptographic primitive for secured private keys and transactions. Okay, this is all technical stuff. Logical qubits, these represent the ideal error-corrected qubits needs to run Shor's algorithm on a 256-bit curve. So recent estimates, 2025, include Google's optimizations for Shor's circuit. Thereabouts 2,500 logical qubits. These figures assume a fault-tolerant quantum computer. The algorithm also requires a massive number of gates, making execution time intensive even with sufficient qubits. Real quantum tech hardware is noisy, so error correction multiplies the qubit count significantly. Estimates vary based on desired runtime error rates and code efficiency. So with 13 million plus to break it within 1 to 10 hours, with the 2025 optimizations using cat qubits, thereabouts 126,000 physical qubits in 9 hours. So here it is. Here's the answer. So there's a difference between logical and physical, and so I'm not really familiar, to be honest with you, with the big differences. Doesn't really help us. Doesn't give us, you know, no quantum computer today max 1,000 qubits can achieve this. Projections suggest 5 to 10 plus years for sufficient scale. So we're away, huh? We're still a way away. Okay, so the reality is what the liquidity that's going to come into Quan platform is not going to be liquidity from the rest of the crypto market because of a hack, a qubit hack or a qubit encryption hack. Yeah, it's going to be businesses, developers, startups, companies who are preparing for the future. And so maybe you've got companies like IBM, etc., and the partnerships that Quan platform are developing who are forward looking, and they're going, okay, why are we building our blockchain using ETH when we should be using Quan platform? And that's really primarily where the liquidity is going to come from, because clearly you can see it's not straightforward, but we're looking at least 5 to 10 years for sufficient scale. Okay, and that's still a way away. It's definitely beyond this bull market. It's probably the next bull market. Doesn't mean we can't see a pump, and that's going to be with the main net. And so while people are thinking to themselves, I'm going to buy and hold and never sell, the reality is technically you have to sell the all-time high. You have to. Yeah, not financial advice, but you have to. Yeah, you have to take profit at the all-time high. You can't, I wouldn't say sell it all. And so obviously I'm just formulating my ideas now. I'm just thinking probably half, probably 50% into resistance. The reason why is because you could reject and come all the way back down, couldn't you? And if you did that, you've just lost all that value, 70% of value. And if you do take profit and you come all the way back down, if enough people do that, we have a chance to hold for a higher low after this corrective move, for a reaccumulation to go back up, you know. And that's kind of what you want. You want people to sell, to buy back higher, but for a higher low. It's kind of what we want. But again, who knows? Like, that's the thing. We don't know what kind of alt season we're going to get. And as far as the timings are concerned, I think we're at the right time. I'm looking at this fib time now that I drew, and it does look good, huh? It does look pretty good. I picked it from this pivot to this pivot, based on this idea of WXY, and that's the 618. And you can see that there is a little bit of a initial impulsive reaction. I just wanted to have a look at it again today to see how it looked, and it looks pretty good. Okay, and so short of any delays or problems, I think we have a good chance to rally up to the all-time high. And I don't know what happens next. I really don't know. And so we just have to see how that plays out. Let me have a look at, I'm not going to go on for much longer, but let me just have a look at the regular chart as well, just to see how this looks. And so you have to look at the regular chart, because at the moment going up 20x will take us all the way there. You're clearly not going to go up in one straight line. You're not going to just go zoop. It's more likely than not, when you're looking at the regular chart, that you do kind of go up like that for like that. Zoop zoop, you're more likely, then that's your kind of big crazy move. I don't know about the timings, but that's your big crazy move. It's more likely to be something like that, to get one first initial pump, take out all of the highs to the all-time high, come back down for a higher low here, some kind of higher low, reaccumulation, retest some kind of levels, breakout line, whatever, for another kind of like another crazy push to take us to the highest target, which I have in my mind. I think that's more likely scenario. So that's kind of what's on my mind right now. And I'm not thinking to myself anything else. And so naturally, I think I'm just holding until I hit that target. Yeah. Doesn't mean I don't buy and sell small amounts like $200 here and there when I need it, and buy it, you know, like when I feel like it, I'll just buy it, sell it a couple of $100. A little payday, you know, like a little happy payday. If I see a little pump, I'll buy it, I'll sell a little bit, just kind of treat myself. But the reality is that I'm waiting just like everyone else for higher targets. And so this is kind of what I have in my mind. That's kind of QANX. Any questions? If not, what I've been thinking of doing is doing a QANX update every Friday. Yeah, from now on, just because I have my own little kind of nest egg of QANX tokens, and that naturally the community are amazing community. I really appreciate it. Like, share my videos, I really appreciate it. And you know, the more positive energy I get back from the community, obviously I'm gonna keep on looking at this and keep on trying to promote the future QANX and the future in quantum computing. And actually, to be honest with you, just looking at the response from Grok, I am thinking of a long-term strategy for the future, for the 5 years plus, because the reality is that this isn't going away. And you can clearly see that there are large competing companies with pretty close timelines. Time will pass very quickly. And what I'm thinking is of a longer term strategy to accumulate QANX and hold it for a longer period of time after this kind of initial bull market pump. How am I thinking? I'm thinking to myself, probably similar to a lot of people in their Bitcoin strategy, just accumulating a little bit on a daily or weekly basis. Yeah, like a long-term DCA. And after we do get this kind of move, if we do get a kind of move to higher prices, that's kind of what then I'll be thinking about doing as a long-term DCA, and buying red candles, maybe buying weekly red candles and just using it as a long-term dollar cost average strategy. All right, so that's QANX. Thanks for joining me. Let's just quickly have a look at Bitcoin before I log off. You see that? So I was right, it's into resistance, isn't it? It was into resistance. Look at that. But I still feel it's quite bullish at the moment. Look, we're back above that line. So we're into resistance. We're in a really choppy area right now. Okay. Not easy to trade because there's no buying and selling now. It's just all chop. And I'm just looking at the altcoins. The altcoins are clearly taking all of the liquidity. I can see it clearly. All of them, all the altcoins are taking liquidity. And so actually, maybe this is good. Maybe Bitcoin just needs to kind of not go up or down, just kind of get stuck. And that's going to be really good for altcoins. And so maybe actually this is not a bad idea, you know, just to go sideways in this downward wedge channel, and then finally for one final drop to pump. So I'm still on that idea, but let's see what happens next. And this weekend, maybe we should see another alt pump. Maybe I don't see why we wouldn't. Yeah. And that's kind of what's on my mind. All right. So I hope that helps people. And then my next stream is going to be Sunday at 11 a.m. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. UK time. Happy to have you join me. And then I'll just continue doing Bitcoin. I'll have a look at TRVL as I do. And I'll probably look at some other things. I don't know what yet. I have to have a look at the charts. If you have any suggestions, drop them into chat, and I might look at them. All right. Thanks for joining me, Fury, and you're probably the only one. RH joined me as well. It's all good because I cut videos and I just post them anyway, so it's all good. I don't mind. Usually what happens is when the price is like a pumping, that's when people come and join the chat. Well, usually when the chat is there's no one in chat, it's usually just because the price is ready to go parabolic. Yeah, that's usually what happens. And then when people come, it's like, all right, now it's ready to take profit because now everyone's here. Now it's time to take profit. So now is probably a good time for the price to go up because no one's interested. All right. Have a good day. Thanks for joining me, mate. See ya.